So music. What do you listen to music?
I do.
Is that important to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I listen to a ton of praise music.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, for the majority of what I listen to, probably 75% praise music. And outside of that, man, I listen to what you consider like Motown music. You know, music from the 70s, 60s, 80s. A lot of old, like, you know, Michael Jackson, Sam and Dave, Earth, Wind and Fire. I listen to all that old stuff. I don't listen to a lot of new music. So yeah, man, if you start talking about so and so's latest album, I don't know nothing about that.
You don't know about that new Lil
Yeah, I don't know that.
Lil fill in the blank?
Yeah, nothing. But yeah, man. So was it late? I'd say about almost 2 years ago, man. It just got to the point where I had to find a certain level of praise to keep myself from going to a dark place, man.
Okay.
And I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like, I need to listen to church music, you know. And it became a daily thing at that point, and it lifted my spirit, man. And so I kept with it. Now I don't listen to praise music every day now, but I almost every day. Okay. Almost every day. Like, you know, I'll take walks at work and I'll listen to music and whatnot. But yes, it's a huge. I think it's a huge component in my life.
Yeah. Same here. I do the praise music. I do the worship music. I like 116. We talked about 116.
Yes.
So there's a whole category. What would you call that? Like, I don't
well,
even know
that's
what you would call
it's
it.
not gospel music, but it's Christian music. It's
Yeah.
Christian rap.
Yeah.
'Cause I mean,
That's not
there's a lot of scripture in there. You know.
So I do that, and I do. I get into hip hop. I'm a Common fan, so Common and Pete Rock just dropped the album. You probably know nothing.
I know who Pete Rock is, but I had no idea.
Pretty great. It's a pretty good album, and it's a lot of spiritual stuff interwoven in it as well.
Yeah.
But music is important.
That's cool.
We talk about it a little bit. But, it's very important. Mine for me. So yeah, reading. I told my wife I was going to kind of ease up on the reading, and then she got COVID, so she has been in the bed for like a week, and so I've been just on my own, and so I've just put on the gas, plowing through these books, and so I was in school, so still in seminary at Duke, so we just finished a term, so I had 3 classes. One class was prophetic ministry, one class was caring for creation, and the third class was spiritual formation. So a lot of reading with the classes, but I try to read stuff along the way as well. So I read some pretty good books, and I was looking at yesterday. So when I finish the book, I tend to write the date on the last page, so I have to kind of think back to where I was in life.
Yeah.
And so I've gotten through 3 books this month, and so I thought it might be worth kind of sharing some of these books. So you actually mentioned one of them, but. Prophetic ministry is one of the classes I took. And so this book, I've heard about this book really since I started in seminary. So this is Jesus and the Disinherited. Howard Thurman is the author. So this was, he's a mystic. A lot of people know about the non-violent protests from like MLK, Civil Rights Movement. He learned a lot of that from Howard Thurman. And so I heard MLK all over the place. I heard this guy, Howard Thurman. Let me just try to see what he was talking about. But this is a great book. It's about 100 and some pages. But it's really about repainting Jesus. And the first chapter in the book is actually, if I can get to it.
Long intro.
I know, that's like Jesus and interpretation. So it really changes the story of Jesus and makes his story relevant for the disinherited, so the poor, the marginalized. So I think I would probably put this in the liberation theology camp. So that was a good read. And I finished this one August 1st. You talked about this one. So Bonhoeffer Discipleship. Thick read, heavy read. Profound stuff though. So Bonhoeffer was I think he was a German Lutheran. So profound stuff. So I was reading through this book. My dad talked about Bonhoeffer a lot, And so another one I heard a lot about when I was in school. I read the first chapter when I first got to school. Didn't understand it.
That's cool.
Yeah, so after about it, let me try to go back. And this time around, it was like, oh, this makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
So I read this one. And then the most recent one that I finished yesterday, this is all about discipleship. This is the actual following. This is the practice. This is the discipline.
Obedience.
The obedience, single-minded obedience we talked about. So a different camp, I would say. Liberation, you got the discipleship. And then most recent one was this one. It's called Rediscovering the Kingdom.
Okay.
So Miles Monroe, I mentioned him before. I think we talked about the fasting. He had this idea of a vat or some kind of, but he's he's deceased now, but kingdom theology. So he suggests that we have missed a lot of the message. So what is the gospel? Part of what Jesus did was he brought in the kingdom. And so he wants to make sure we don't miss that piece of it. So anyway, that's kept me busy from a mind perspective.
That's
So
good.
I'm going to stop, see what kind of comments, questions.
That's good.
How you liking Bonhoeffer?
I do like it. It's funny you mentioned how you started it, and it's like, man, it's over my head. I think he actually made a statement in there saying like you can't understand faith until you become obedient. Because he talks about only the faithful are obedient, and only the obedient are faithful.
And that's one of the things you have to like stop
Yeah.
and be like, let me think about, first of all, what did he say?
Yes,
And then let me think about how I feel about that.
It's like both of them have to come together. Yeah, you can't, because if you go with one, you're talking about faith by works, which don't work. You know what I'm saying? We can't save ourselves. And then he's like, on the other side, if you just take the other statement, now you're looking at it legalistic.
Yeah.
So they both have to be together. And it's like,
It's a fine line.
right. That's absolutely right.
And for us, like we talk about the practice and the discipleship, and I have to be careful because I want everybody to do this stuff, but I can't push it on people. So because you can't force it on people. You have to be invitational. So I've had to learn that balance. It's fine line.
So Bonhoeffer consistently talks about Jesus calling people.
Yeah.
And it's a call to obedience.
Yeah.
And it's either a yes or a no, basically. Jesus creates the environment where faith is possible. He uses that a lot. So yeah, man, I think that lines up, because you're saying how you want everybody to do it, but man, even people turn Jesus down.
Yeah, that's right.
The one guy saying, nah, man, let me go say goodbye to my family. Or, let me go bury my dad. Yeah. So it's like, people turn Jesus down, and people will say no.
Yeah.
People say no. And it's not an easy gospel.
It's not. It's not an easy message, man. So in this 1 month, I done heard 3 versions of the gospel. So it's hard to understand, let alone explain or relate to people.
Well,
not versions. Three different pieces.
No. Three different perspectives.
Perspectives.
Yeah, 3 different perspectives. It's tricky. It's tricky because on one level, I guess it depends on how, I don't want to say committed. I don't think that's the right word. But I think it's, when we're talking Sammy and we're talking about God's word being authoritative.
Yeah.
God being present in my life, God being active, God's word being authoritative. I think once you get to that point to where God's word is authoritative, that's what it says. That's what I need to do. Don't get me wrong, you still don't mess up and trip up, fall on your face sometimes. But I think once you get to that point, it's like, this word is authoritative. I'm trying my best to be as obedient as I can. It seems like these other things just kind of start making sense to you now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I do believe if you don't reach that point, you try to read Bonhoeffer, you're going to be like Alice in Wonderland.
You'll put it down. You won't read it.
Yeah. You're like, I don't know what he's talking about. Right. Yeah.
And that's how I felt. I came out of business, man, walked up on the campus and all this cheap grace and call. I didn't know, I had to think about it. It took me a while to understand it. But yeah, so I share Bonhoeffer with you, and I know he was influential to my dad, probably my granddad as well. I guess that math was 1930s.
Yeah, I mean that happened in World War One.
Yeah,
before World War One.
Yeah. So I've shared that with some other people as well, but I don't share it with everybody because you got to have the right kind of mindset, or be open-minded to it as well. So I would say those are my theology books that I've read. I've decided to come down a little bit out of the theology, and I'm going to some more practical books. And I thought I haven't read these, but this is kind of, I'm only going to do these for the rest of the year. Is what I'm saying.
That's what you say now.
That's what
Do
I'm
you
saying.
find a book sale?
My mom's book, man, got to give her a shout out. So Blazing Toward Freedom. My mom's book talks about Septima Clark. We talked about it.
I got to get that.
Yeah. So that book, and then a business book. This one's called Essentialism.
I've heard of that.
The Disciplined Pursuit of Less. So living a disciplined life and really asking what's necessary. So I'm going to read that. This is a business book. And then The Psychology of Money. You know about this one? It's a million financial books out there. But it's kind of like the same thing. A lot of it is do step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus what are you thinking about when you're making the decisions. So anyway, I told you I'm going to come down out of the clouds a little bit and get to some more practical stuff. But I have been occupied in the mind for sure.
Nice.
Yeah. Body.
Oh man, I got some news.
All right, let me hear it.
So so I like finding unique workouts. Like, I got this steel mace at the house, which is a metal rod with a ball on the end. It used to be a weapon back in the day. Like when I say back in the day, I'm talking about the Vikings used to use them as weapons.
Really?
Yeah. But it's also for training because its offset nature makes you stronger.
Yeah.
Attacks the core. I got kettlebells. I got this manual treadmill that I walk on backwards. I like finding weird stuff.
Okay.
There is a guy, Pavel Tatsula, that's his name. He is, he's not popular, but if you know him, you know him. Like, he's responsible for bringing kettlebell training over to the United States. Like, he used to train Special Force Soviet soldiers.
Okay.
And so he has he has a ton of different workouts. He has a lot of books out. But there's one specific workout that he did 5 years of research to come up with. And it's so simple, it's so elementary, it's like that can't really do what he's promising. So you take 30 minutes, and every minute and a half you do an exercise, just 10 reps. And there's only 2 exercises.
30 minutes, minute and a half, 2 exercises.
So you start off at 0, 0, 0. As soon as you start the time, you do 10 push-ups. Let the time go. This is just rest time. At a minute and 30 seconds, you do 10 kettlebell swings. And then you alternate the order for the next set. You do 10 kettlebell swings, then a minute and a half later, 10 push-ups. So when 30 minutes have gone by, you've done 100 kettlebell swings, and you've done 100 push-ups. And he's like, that's not that much. But look at here.
I was about to say,
it'll fry you slowly.
I bet
Because
so.
He has this thing called greasing the groove. You know how you're lifting weights and you get to that point where you get the lactic acid build up.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, once you hit that point, what you do from there on is negligible. As far as the gains that you're going to make. So it's better to do smaller bite-sized amounts and rest fully so that you can do more. So let's say I can only do 20 push-ups total. I get 20 push-ups and that's it. Well, instead of just attacking at 20 push-ups, how about we do 6? You do 6 push-ups, and let's just take about a 2-3 minute break. Because you're fresh and you can attack another 6. So now, instead of just doing 20, you can do 60 push-ups because you got that full recovery. So now you're getting more amount of work done, you're going to see better results. And so yeah, man, I started that workout last week, Tuesday or something like that.
Well, how heavy is your kettlebell?
My kettlebell is 30 pounds.
You got to be careful with the kettlebell.
Yes.
You can hurt yourself.
Yes, you can. You need to make sure you got some good form. And if you got questions, you can go to Strong First. Strong First is they're like an organization that's built on the teachings of Paul Tatsu.
Okay.
So yeah, they know their stuff.
Okay.
And there's a ton of instructional videos. And yeah, this was really good.
So it's simple.
Yeah, it's very simple. So I did it 3 days last week. They recommended you start off with 3 days and kind of work your way up to doing 5 days a week. And yeah, man, it was, yes, my legs were on fire the next day. Chest on fire. Going down toward the back. I mean, it was great. It felt good though.
Yeah.
It felt good. So yeah.
And you said that you were interested in getting in some good shape, so I won't put it out there for you.
It's fine. It's fine.
You want to put it out there? Once you put it out there, you got to do it.
I had a moment, man. Just weird thoughts. And so I'm like, I wonder what it would take to look like a wrestler, like a professional wrestler. Like, what level of commitment does it take? So, like, for the next few months, man, I'm just going to hit it hard, and we're going to see what happens. So, we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We will see.
Yeah, we will see. We will see.
That's one thing about this, man. Once you put it out there, it's like people gonna see. So.
Yeah, yeah. So
all good.
But yeah, man. So honestly, it happened. So we played Friday. We got an invite only run for some older guys. It's
full court though.
Yeah, it's full court. It's a undisclosed location at an undisclosed time, undisclosed date.
Private invitation.
Yeah, man, invitation only. But man, my legs were feeling because I think I did exercise. Yeah, I did the workout Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday.
Okay.
And we played Friday. And when I'm telling you, my legs were feeling amazing. Like that's the best my legs have felt since like February.
Okay.
I've been having issues with the right underneath my kneecap or whatever. So I've been doing some little exercises with that, but I hadn't been doing much to strengthen the rest of my legs. So the kettlebell swings it works everything else. So,
Yeah. Good. And you were. I think last time around you doing the sugar, no sugar thing. Are you still? How's that?
Yeah, man.
Kind of.
Yeah, I'm still doing it.
Okay.
I will get it if it's something that's like crazy unique. Like I told you, a coworker made apple crumble cheesecake.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this? So it's like, what is this? Yeah, what is this? So I'm like, when would I ever even get a chance to see something like this again? So I dived in there. So cool. I mean, if I see something I really want, I'll have it. But that's not weekly. It's not even weekly.
And you feel good about your health and where you are. And good.
Yeah, man. I get my blood work done every year. I've actually had my blood work done twice this year. And numbers look good. So
Good. Body for me?
Yeah, sure.
It's going well. It's been a lot of time out here, so I think I don't know. This is our third time recording this, number one, so we've had to scrap a couple.
Yes, we have not mentioned.
We should have said that up front.
Yeah. We've had some crazy things happen. Yeah.
This is our third time trying to record this one. So I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but I used to do a lot of cardio. I've moved towards weights. My wife was telling me I was getting skinny, so so I wanted to put a little bit of size on. And I've said before, I kind of overshot it. I wanted to land at about 245 or so, but I got down under 220, and so I had to work my way back. I overshot it in Sammy's episode, I think, and I hit like 250 intentionally because I was lifting and I was eating a lot, trying to put the size back on. But then I got too big, too quick, and so I had to kind of tighten myself up. So it's been like this, I don't know, it's course correcting kind of thing. But so my workout now is I have a 20-pound slam ball, no bounce to it, so it's slam. So what I do is I do 5 slams, short bursts, kind of like you were saying, and then I walk over to my deadlifts. I do 5 deadlifts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I do 5 on the bench press right over at 5, and then I rest, and then I go do that 5 times. And so I was doing 7 circuits at lower weights, but now that I'm getting higher on the weight, I want to drop the number of reps. But to me, I think that's something. It's hard for me to work out in the cold. It's hard to do cardio in the cold. I think I can lift as it gets into the fall and goes into the winter. So I'm thinking about what I can do going into the fall. So it's worked pretty well for me. So I'm 240 or so, feel pretty good. But still at it. I always have to be careful when it cools down because I will slip and fall into it. So I got to make sure I can keep this going into the fall. So,
I mean, you could go back to the low weights and high reps.
Yeah.
Since it's something that it's definitely a program that you like. That's the biggest part about exercise. You got to find something you like.
Yeah.
That's why I like finding these unique, weird things. It's just keeps you interested.
Yeah. And I can bundle up if it gets cold, but it's hard to jump rope with like a sweatshirt.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But I can lift in some extra clothes. So
Absolutely.
so I'm gonna keep going up a little bit. I did kind of pull a little bit on my shoulder on the deadlift, so I gotta. My wife was like, you're in your 40s.
That don't mean nothing.
That don't mean nothing.
There's people in their 70s and 80s.
Spirit don't age. The spirit don't age. Your knees age. So